Hello, my name's Charles Mindenhall. I'm lucky to be a very old colleague of Ranjit Bathakor's. In fact, we go back almost 30 years to when we first met in Mumbai. And Ranjit has been there every step of the way as we've built Blenheim Chalcot over the course of the last 23 years. So it's a real privilege to be able to say a few words as part of the Eastern Himalayan NATURENOMICS conference in 2021, particularly on the very important topic of valuing the independence between ecology and the economy. As we saw at COP26, everyone recognises, or most people do anyway, the importance of combating climate change and how important that is for the environment, for the preservation of the world, and for increasing biodiversity. While we agree on many of those things, how we solve that problem is a real challenge. There are lots of ideas, inventions and innovations that people put forward, and in fact, lots of progress being made in many of those areas as well. But one of the big challenges, and we saw this at COP26, is understandably perhaps the developing world that consumes much less carbon per capita than in the case of the developed world. The developing world, of course, feels that the developed world should make much more progress on reducing its footprint. The developing world should be able to grow and develop its economy and the wealth of its citizens to the same standards of living and same consumption patterns of the developed world. How you solve that problem is a real issue. It's a real challenge. And that's why the focus of this year's NATURENOMICS conference, Valuing Interdependence Between Ecology and Economy, is so important. Because if we don't solve the challenge of how we value our environment and how we think about that in economic terms, we will never solve the problem of climate change. We will never solve the problem of protecting the world. So it's a very important subject, this notion of how we value ecology, how we value the planet and the value we place on it. And so that when we start doing things that damage the environment, we can put a price on that. We fully price in the damage we are causing and the issues we are causing as part of our economic calculations. The other very important area that needs to be investigated as part of that, of course, is thinking about how people can develop their own economic livelihoods in a sustainable way that looks after the environment. And therefore, I think this topic is the one topic that the world really needs to address if it's going to make progress on protecting the environment and protecting climate and climate change. If we don't figure out how the economy takes into account the cost of the damage we are doing to it, we will never make progress. And we need to make sure that people can develop their economic livelihoods as well in the Eastern Himalayas, can develop their own wealth and the well-being of society in a sustainable way. And that's why some of the inventions and innovations that will come out of the Eastern Himalayas hopefully can be showcases for the rest of the world in terms of how to develop in an economically sustainable way, but an ecologically sustainable way as well. Thank you very much.